everyone, Nairman here with a quick review of a game many people probably haven't even played. It's called Jump Ultimate Stars, and it is essentially the Smash Brothers for the DS, but instead of Nintendo characters, it's Shonen Jump characters. The reason why many people probably haven't played this game is because it's import only, because all the licensing done in the States is two different companies. So, in order to get this game over here, Shonen would have to get, all the licensing companies to agree upon it, which of course is never going to happen, so they didn't even bother trying. So you would have to import it from Japan. However, that really shouldn't stop you from buying this game because, just go on GameFAQs or any other sort of cheat or walkthrough sort of website, and I guarantee there will be a guide for this game, and there are tons of guides that tells you exactly what everything is, exactly what you're supposed to do, and what everything is. So if I don't know a single kanji character, and I was still able to get through this game without too much problem. So I just wanted to make a quick note that the important nature of this game isn't that big a deal as long as you can find a good guide, which just go on GameFAQs, and the first one is a very good guide. It tells you just about everything you need to know and what to do in the game. Even though I compared this to Smash Brothers, it's only for the character aspect. The game plays like a mix between Smash Brothers and a typical fighter because there is a health bar, but you can be ringed out, and it plays a bit more simple than Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers has tilts and smashes and everything. There's only standard attacks and sort of tilts in a way. And there is the special button, which gives you each character their own unique, special move. So it's sort of like a mix between a Smash Brothers game and a normal fighting game. And I'm sorry for the lack of clips, these are the only ones I could really find, but the gameplay clip tells you a good deal of how the game itself actually plays. Mind you, there is a learning curve, but it's not that bad of a learning curve. After about 10 minutes of just messing around, you can pretty much figure out what it is you're supposed to do in the game in terms of the actual fighting. Now moving on to the characters in this game, I believe there are over 80 actual playable characters, ranging from guys like Goku to Kinnikuman to, Naruto, to characters I have no idea who they even are. The manga or anime never made it over here, so I have no idea what they even are. So, and of course there are balancing issues with that many characters. For example, if we're up to characters alone, Gear 3 Luffy would destroy everyone. I'm sorry, he just would. He's so overpowered in terms of just plain fighting ability. However, there is a way to remedy this little problem. In the game, there are support characters. Think of the assist trophies in Smash Brothers, and boost characters. And to explain this, you need to understand how the game sort of plays. Each character comes in little panels, and you sort of have to place it on a 5x4 grid. And support characters are generally smaller, while playable characters are larger, and the boost combos are just one panel each. And you have to sort of mix and match. It's sort of like a little puzzle game, where you match characters into this little panel to make your own little manga page, and that's who you get to use and who you get to summon in that particular, match that you're doing. Now, the support characters are also very unbalanced. Some of them are incredibly useful, such as, Trunks and other weird effects, to ones that are absolutely useless. So like the characters, the supports have their own little flaws, but it helps make the game more balanced in terms of the actual characters. So it's odd because the support characters are sometimes just as powerful as the normal characters, unless you're doing like a very high panel character, such as, high panel characters are generally more powerful characters, such as Gear 3 Luffy or Bankai Ichigo. So the support characters can sometimes have just as powerful moves as them, depending how often you use them. So it's a fun game, but it has some balancing issues in terms of how you actually play it. Not to say that's a bad thing. I think it is very, very fun to play as a whole. Because, it's only anime characters just trying to kill each other for no particular reason. Like Smash Brothers, it has absolutely no story that makes any sense, so you can just ignore the actual plot, which is nice, because there is actually a story mode. But the other thing, though, is that it actually has internet play. And even in the States, you can actually, get on the internet and, fight other people, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I always end up playing, Japanese guys who do nothing but this game, so I get my ass handed to me. But it's not that big of a deal, and the cool thing is you can actually download your opponent's decks when you disconnect from them. So say someone has a character you don't have, but you really want to try them out, you can download their deck and actually use it for yourself. You can't use the panels they have if you don't have them, but it's still a cool feature nonetheless, and I really like that. It's more useful than I thought it would be. So, just putting that out there. There are some extras in the game, such as, play the background music, trivia, or it gives you the general premise of what the manga, the anime, or the show is coming from. But if you don't know any kanji, you're really not going to use it. And it's fairly useless overall since it doesn't enhance the gameplay experience. Um, actually, my favorite part is actually building the decks in the game because you can do all sorts of crazy combinations as long as you can fit the puzzles right. It's like a manga version of Tetris. And I like to compare it to manga. It's like manga Tetris, which is kind of absurd in a way, but it's actually kind of fun. Because it lets you think a little bit instead of just mindlessly fighting like most anime fighters tend to be. So, my final thoughts. It is a very fun game. I really liked it. It gets a little boring because the only way you can really find other people to play it with is online, since so few people actually have it, at least very few people that I know, but I really like the game. It plays very well. It plays better than most fighters nowadays, which is kind of odd, but that's probably just because it uses sprites. Um, it's fun. There are tons of characters, even though there are some balancing issues, and I would give it overall about an 8 out of 10, just because of said balancing issues and a few little questionable characters or supports that I don't know how they either missed or made them overpowered, and so on and so forth. There were rumors of a third one for a little bit after this Jump Ultimate Stars. This is the second game. The first game was Jump Superstars. This is the second game. There were rumors of the third game, but like directly after it came out, but I don't think it's happening. I would like to see Nintendo give it one more chance just because of the balancing issue. But again, if you're feeling daring, just go ahead and import it from PlayAsia. It's only about $50 plus the shipping, which isn't that bad as long as you don't, try and go for the premium shipping. So I really recommend picking this up. After you get all the characters and figure out the menus, you can bring it on the go wherever you want. It's a very fun game. And just some advice, use the One Piece characters. They are so overpowered, except for Nico, Robin, and Frankie. Everyone else is beyond overpowered. So that's just my little review of Jump Ultimate Stars. So hopefully I can convince some other people to go ahead and get it and actually play this game.